The planet Varelia shone like a jewel in the dark expanse of space. Its blue-green oceans and towering crystal mountains made it one of the most beautiful planets in the Zitherian Dominion. But beauty could hide cruelty, and beneath Varelia's radiant surface lay a grim truth. The Zitherians, a cold and calculating alien race, had enslaved the planet's people, breaking their spirits and chaining them to labor camps. Captain Elias Ward had heard of Varelia before, during quiet moments aboard the human exploration cruiser Horizon. The reports were shocking entire civilizations reduced to servitude under the Dominion's rule. Elias, however, did not accept impossible or can't be done. He had never been a man to turn away from injustice. Humanity had survived against odds that would crush almost any other species, and he carried that determination like armor. He stood on the observation deck of his ship, staring at Varelia below. His crew bustled behind him, preparing for the descent. "All systems ready, Captain," said Lieutenant Mara, her voice steady but tinged with concern. "We only have one shot at this. If we're caught, we know what will happen." Elias nodded. "Then we won't be caught." He turned his gaze back to the planet, noting the shimmering mountains where the Zitherian towers marked their camps. "We're going in quietly. Our goal is simple: find the princess, free her, and get out. Nothing more, nothing less." The landing was tense. The cruiser Horizon glided through the thin atmosphere, avoiding detection by Zitherian patrol drones. The forests below were alive with alien flora trees with glowing leaves, flowers that opened and closed with the wind, and rivers that sparkled like liquid crystal. Elias had seen strange worlds before, but Varelia had a strange magic to it, even under oppression. When the ship touched down in a hidden grove, Elias and a small strike team exited silently. They moved like shadows, their suits blending with the environment. He had been trained for stealth operations, but even his experience did not prepare him for what lay ahead. The Zitherian guards were everywhere, their patrols relentless. Lysera, the princess of Varelia, was in the largest camp, a fortress of metal and alien technology. Her chains glinted in the dim light, cold and unyielding. Even as a prisoner, she held herself with pride. Her eyes, a deep violet, scanned every movement, calculating every risk. She had escaped before, outsmarted guards, and hidden in the forests. But this time, the Dominion had made sure her escape was nearly impossible. Yet, as she watched the night sky, a flicker of hope sparked in her chest. She had heard of humans, brave explorers from another star, daring to challenge the Zitherians. Perhaps, just perhaps, one had come for her. Elias and his team reached the perimeter of the camp. He studied the guards' patterns carefully. "There," he whispered to Mara, pointing at a weak point in the fence. "We slip in there. No alarms, no unnecessary fights. Just the princess." The team moved like ghosts, silent and precise. They neutralized the cameras and patrol drones with a combination of human ingenuity and quick thinking. When they reached Lysera's cell, she was seated, her head high, despite the heavy chains. "Princess Lysera," Elias said softly, "I'm Captain Elias Ward of the United Earth Fleet. I'm here to get you out." Her eyes narrowed, not in fear, but in caution. "A human?" she asked, her voice steady but curious. "Why would you risk your life for me? For my people?" "Because it's the right thing to do," Elias replied. "Humans don't stand by when others are in chains. You'll understand soon enough." Lysera studied him, searching for deceit. She found none. Slowly, she nodded. "Then let us go," she said, her chains rattling slightly as she rose. Elias approached and examined the locks. They were Zitherian designs, resistant to almost any human tool, but he had studied them before. Using a combination of precision tools and his knowledge of alien metallurgy, he worked on the locks. Minutes passed, each one feeling like an hour. Finally, with a soft click, the last lock fell away. Lysera stretched her arms, testing her freedom. I am free," she whispered, a smile breaking through her composed exterior. "Thanks to you, human," Elias smiled back. "Not just me. We all had a part. But don't thank me yet, we still have to get out alive." The escape was immediate. The alarm system had been bypassed, but any delay could bring reinforcements. Elias led Lysera through hidden corridors and secret passages, guided by maps he had memorized. They encountered a patrol, but Elias and Mar handled it quietly, incapacitating the Zithirians without causing death. Lysera helped as well, using her agility and knowledge of the fortress to distract and mislead the guards. During the journey, Lysera began to see humans not as simple creatures but as clever, resourceful, and unyielding. She had heard of human persistence before, but seeing it firsthand was different. These humans, unlike many she had encountered, did not rely solely on strength. They relied on intelligence, courage, and unbreakable determination. By the time they reached the outer wall of the camp, dawn was approaching. The sky was painted with colors Lysera had never seen before, soft pinks and golds blending into the night. Elias and his team had prepared an extraction point, and the cruiser waited quietly among the trees. Engines humming softly. Almost there, Elias said. Stay close. Lysera, feeling the strange mix of fear and excitement, nodded. I will not leave your side, she said unexpectedly. Elias raised an eyebrow, surprised. Even if it gets dangerous? He asked. Yes, she replied. I owe my life to you. And besides, she glanced at the horizon. Humans are stronger than I imagined. The takeoff was smooth. As the cruiser rose above Verelia's surface, Elias allowed himself a small moment of satisfaction. They had done the impossible. The princess was free, and the first step toward rebellion had begun. Yet, Elias knew the challenges ahead were far greater. The Zithirian Dominion would not forget this act. They would hunt them relentlessly. But for now, in this brief moment, the human spirit had triumphed. Lysera, watching the planet fall away beneath them, felt a new kind of hope. For the first time in her life, she felt free not just from chains, but free to choose, to fight, and to stand beside someone who believed in justice above all else. Elias glanced at her, noting the determination in her eyes. Welcome aboard, he said. This is only the beginning. Lysera smiled. Then let us begin, she replied, ready to face whatever came next. Side by side with the human who had broken her chains, the cruiser Horizon moved silently through the upper atmosphere of Verelia, its engines barely whispering against the thin air. Below, the forest stretched endlessly, a mosaic of glowing plants and winding rivers. Elias Ward, sitting at the navigation console, kept his hands steady, though his mind was alert. The mission had started with a daring rescue, but the real challenge was only beginning. Lysera, standing near the viewport, gazed down at her homeland. She had never imagined seeing it from above. From this height, the oppression of the Zithirians seemed both distant and immediate, their camps like dark scars on the planet's surface. But for the first time, she felt hope, a feeling that had been foreign for so long. Where are we going? She asked, turning to Elias. He smiled faintly. Somewhere safe. At least for now. We need to regroup, plan our next moves. The Zithirians won't take this lightly. They will send hunters. Lysera nodded, though her violet eyes shone with determination. Then we should not waste time. If we are to help my people, we must act quickly. Elias studied her, impressed by the fire in her gaze. Most captives would have been frightened, overwhelmed by the danger. Lysera, however, was already thinking like a leader. The horizon left Verelia's atmosphere and entered the quiet darkness of space. Elias activated the ship's cloaking system, hiding them from Zithirian patrols. For the next several hours, they traveled in silence. Finally, Elias spoke. I need to know everything about your people, their strengths, weaknesses, and the Dominion's methods. If we are to fight back, I must understand the enemy fully. Lysera hesitated, but then began. My people are clever, resilient, and resourceful. We were once a proud civilization, skilled in science and art, before the Dominion took control. They enslaved us with technology we could not match, but our spirit was never broken. Elias listened closely. And the Dominion, they are brutal and calculating, she said. They use fear to control, but their rules are rigid. They underestimate those who fight with cunning, and that is where you humans can help. Your unpredictability, she looked at him, with a mix of curiosity and admiration. It is your greatest strength. Elias felt a surge of pride. Humanity had survived against odds that destroyed other civilizations. It was this same unpredictability, this refusal to submit, that had allowed him to succeed in rescuing Lysera. For the next few days, the cruiser traveled across uncharted space, avoiding Zithirian patrols and scanning for safe planets where they could hide temporarily. During this time, Elias and Lysera began to learn more about each other. Lysera was fascinated by human ingenuity. She asked questions about the ship, the crew, and the strategies humans used in battle. Elias explained in simple terms, careful to avoid overwhelming her. She listened intently, absorbing every detail, and began to see humans as more than just courageous warriors. They were thinkers, planners, and problem-solvers. Elias, in turn, learned about Virelia's culture and history. He listened as Lysera described her people's art, music, and architecture. She spoke with pride, even as she recounted the horrors of the Zithirian occupation. It was clear to him that Virelians were not just victims, they were survivors, capable of incredible resilience. One evening, while the stars glimmered outside the viewport, Lysera turned to him. "Captain, I do not understand why humans are so different from the Dominion. You risk your lives for others, even strangers. Why?" Elias smiled softly. "Humans believe in hope. Princess, we believe in helping those who cannot help themselves. It is not just about strength or weapons, it is about spirit. That is what makes us dangerous to the unjust." Lysera considered this, her eyes thoughtful. "Then perhaps your kind is exactly what my people need." Elias felt a quiet satisfaction. "And perhaps your people are exactly what the galaxy needs too." Their peace was interrupted one night. When the ship's sensors detected a Zithirian patrol fleet nearby, Elias acted quickly, maneuvering the horizon into a dense asteroid field to hide. The patrol scanned the area, their sensors unable to penetrate the asteroid's interference. Lysera watched in awe as Elias piloted the ship with precision, weaving between rocks and debris. "Humans are not only clever on the ground," she said, "but in the stars as well." Elias chuckled. "We survive by thinking ahead. Every decision counts. You'll see. When we fight back on Virelia, we'll need the same focus." She nodded. "I want to fight back. I want to see my people free, even if it is dangerous." Elias looked at her, admiration clear in his eyes. "Then we will do it together." The next stop was a remote moon, untouched by the Dominion. Elias and his team landed carefully, taking Lysera with them. The moon was barren but safe, with hidden caves and tunnels that offered shelter. Here, Lysera began to teach the humans about Zithirian technology. She explained how the Dominion surveillance systems worked, the weaknesses in their security, and the patterns their patrols followed. Elias and his crew took notes, planning how to use this information to strike back. It was during these lessons that Lysera's respect for humans deepened. She had faced humans in battle reports, and many were reckless. But Elias and his team combined bravery with strategy, always thinking several steps ahead. They reminded her of her own people before the Dominion's oppression, clever, determined, unyielding. One evening, as they prepared their equipment for a reconnaissance mission back to Virelia, Lysera approached Elias. "Captain, I wish to fight alongside you," she said. "I will not remain hidden while my people suffer. I want to be part of the plan." Elias hesitated. "It is dangerous. The patrols are strong, and the Dominion will not forgive your escape. If you are caught—" "I know," she interrupted, "but I cannot stand by. You have saved me, yes, but you cannot save everyone alone. Let me help." Her determination mirrored the human spirit he admired so much. Elias nodded slowly. "Very well, but we do this carefully, step by step. You will be my partner, not a distraction." Lysera smiled, a mix of pride and relief. "Then I will not leave your side, Captain. Together, we can save my people." Over the next few days, the humans and Lysera trained together. She learned to operate human weapons, while teaching them alien tactics. Elias was impressed by how quickly she adapted. Despite years of imprisonment, her mind remained sharp and her body agile. She was a natural leader, and her presence lifted the morale of the entire team. On the third night, the team ran a simulation of infiltrating a Zitharian supply depot. Lysera guided them through the layout, identifying weak points. The humans combined her knowledge with their experience, creating a plan that was both daring and clever. When the simulation ended, Elias said, "Princess, you have changed the way we fight. Your insight makes us stronger." Lysera's eyes shone with pride, "And your courage and skill inspire me. Together, we are unstoppable." As the moon's nights passed, Elias realized something remarkable. Lysera was no longer just a rescued princess. She had become a partner, a friend, and an ally. Her decision to remain by his side was voluntary, born of respect and trust. This was rare, even among humans, and he felt a deep sense of responsibility. "Tomorrow," he said one night, staring at the stars, "we go back to Varelia. We take the fight to the Dominion, step by step. Are you ready?" Lysera nodded firmly. "I have never been more ready. My people will be free, and I will stand with you, human, until the end." Elias allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had survived countless battles against impossible odds. Now, standing alongside Lysera, he knew they could face the Dominion, not just with strength, but with intelligence, courage, and unwavering spirit. And so, under the quiet stars, a bond formed, a human and an alien, united by purpose, trust, and determination. The first steps toward rebellion were set, and nothing in the galaxy could break that resolve. The cruiser Horizon hovered silently above Varelia's northern forests. Below, the Zitharian camp still sprawled like dark scars against the vibrant green of the planet. Elias Ward and Lysera stood side by side on the bridge, their eyes fixed on the planet they had left behind weeks ago. Now, their mission was not just to survive, it was to ignite hope for an entire world. Lysera's violet eyes scanned the horizon. "The Dominion is strong," she said quietly, "but they underestimate what my people are capable of when they see hope. When they see that someone is willing to fight for them." Elias nodded. "Humans have a saying, the smallest spark can start a wildfire. That is what we aim to do. We don't need to defeat them all at once. We only need to show your people they are not alone." Lysera looked at him with determination. "Then we will be that spark." The landing was careful. Elias piloted the cruiser into a hidden clearing, thick with alien foliage. The engines made a soft hum before shutting down completely, leaving only the quiet sounds of the forest. Lysera led the way as they disembarked, moving with agility through the underbrush. The first step was simple: reach the hidden tunnels near the northern camps. These tunnels had been used by Virelians before the Dominion's occupation, secret pathways that allowed movement without detection. Lysera guided Elias and his team, pointing out the risks of traps and patrols. "Stay low," she whispered. "The Dominion uses sensors that detect movement. Step carefully, or we will trigger an alarm." Elias followed her instructions precisely, relying on human ingenuity and quick thinking to avoid detection. They slipped through the tunnels, the darkness wrapping around them like a protective cloak. It was an eerie experience for the crew, but Elias felt a thrill of anticipation. Freedom, after all, always required risk. As they emerged near the heart of the camp, they witnessed the cruel efficiency of the Zitharian control. Slaves moved in precise formation, their movements monitored by hovering drones. The guards patrolled relentlessly, their eyes scanning for the slightest irregularity. Lysera's face hardened. "This is why my people must be free. Look at them, forced to labor under fear. This will end." Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "And we will see that it does. But we must be careful. One wrong move, and the Dominion will hunt us down." Together, they formulated a plan. The first target was a small supply depot where food and essential resources were stored. Destroying it would not only weaken the Dominion, but also inspire hope among the enslaved Virelians. Lysera led the reconnaissance, pointing out patrol patterns and security weaknesses. Elias and his crew listened intently, combining her insights with their experience. By the time the night fell, a plan had formed, precise and daring. The strike began with silence. Elias, Lysera, and a small team approached the depot under the cover of darkness. Lysera's knowledge proved invaluable. She knew which sensors were blind and which patrols were predictable. "On my mark," she whispered. Elias nodded, waiting. They moved like shadows, avoiding detection and reaching the depot's perimeter. Using human tools and Lysera's knowledge, they disabled the security systems and slipped inside. Inside, crates of supplies were stacked neatly. Elias placed charges at strategic points, ensuring maximum disruption with minimal risk to the enslaved workers. Lysera, meanwhile, released those who were imprisoned nearby, guiding them to safety in the tunnels. The explosion that followed was controlled but spectacular. Flames and smoke lit up the night sky, drawing the attention of Zithirian guards. Elias and his team, along with Lysera and the free Virilians, vanished into the forest, leaving chaos behind. Back at their hidden base, the atmosphere was electric. Lysera's eyes shone with pride. They will know now that the Dominion is not invincible. They will see that freedom is possible. Elias smiled. And hope is contagious. Once one group sees courage, others will follow. For days, they planned their next moves. The free Virilians were trained, taught to defend themselves and understand the weaknesses of their oppressors. Lysera worked tirelessly, teaching strategies and boosting morale. Her bond with Elias grew stronger. He respected her intelligence, her bravery, and her unwavering dedication to her people. She, in turn, admired the human capacity for ingenuity and endurance. Tensions rose when the Dominion retaliated. Patrols became more frequent, and hunting parties scoured the forests. One night, Elias and Lysera led a small reconnaissance team to observe a patrol route. They crouched behind alien foliage, their eyes scanning for movement. 20 guards. Lysera whispered. "And to drones. They are faster than usual. Something is coming." Elias nodded. "We need to get information without being seen. Follow my lead." They watched as the patrol moved, noting patterns and weaknesses. The human and alien minds worked together seamlessly, a perfect blend of instinct and strategy. By the end of the night, they had gathered enough intelligence to plan a larger operation, a coordinated strike that could liberate several camps simultaneously during one rest period. Lysera approached Elias. "Captain, why do humans risk so much for strangers?" she asked, her voice thoughtful. "I have seen bravery before, but not like this. You fight not for yourself, but for others you do not know." Elias looked at her, considering the question. "Because we believe it is the right thing to do. Strength without purpose is meaningless. Courage without compassion is empty. Humans survive because we fight for more than just ourselves. We fight for what is right." Lysera nodded slowly. "Then I understand why I chose to stay by your side. Your courage. It inspires more than just fear in the enemy. It inspires hope." Elias allowed himself a small smile. "And your determination inspires me. We are stronger together than apart." The next mission was daring. A coordinated strike to free multiple Virilian labor camps. Simultaneously, Elias and Lysera spent days planning, mapping patrol routes, setting traps, and training the freed slaves. Each person had a role, each move carefully calculated. The night of the operation arrived. The forests were alive with movement as humans and Virilians advanced silently. Lysera led her people, guiding them with confidence and precision. Elias directed his team, coordinating strikes and ensuring safety. The operation was intense. Patrols were neutralized, supply depots destroyed, and prisoners freed. Each success was a spark, igniting courage in those who had once been broken. Lysera moved among them, offering guidance, reassurance, and hope. By dawn, several camps had been liberated. The Dominion forces were in disarray, their control weakening as fear and confusion spread among them. In the aftermath, Elias and Lysera stood on a ridge, overlooking the liberated areas. Smoke rose from destroyed depots, and groups of free Virilians gathered, cheering in relief and joy. "Look at them," Elias said softly. "They finally see that freedom is possible." Lysera's eyes glistened. "And they know it is not just a dream. Humans fought for them, and I fought alongside you. Together, we showed them hope." Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "This is only the beginning. The Dominion will try to regroup, but we have started something they cannot stop. Your people are awakening, and nothing will hold them down forever." Lysera smiled. "Then we will keep fighting, human. For my people and for the galaxy. We will not back down." The bond between Elias and Lysera had grown beyond strategy and survival. It was built on trust, respect, and shared purpose. Lysera no longer saw Elias merely as a rescuer. He was her partner, her ally, and a symbol of what humans could achieve. Together, they had sparked a rebellion. The flames of freedom were spreading, and the Zitharian Dominion had no choice but to confront a new reality. The people of Varelia would no longer remain in chains, and in that quiet moment, standing beneath the alien stars, Elias and Lysera understood the truth, courage, ingenuity. An unwavering spirit could challenge even the mightiest of empires. Humanity, paired with determination and hope, could ignite revolutions across the galaxy. They had become more than human and alien. They were a force united by purpose, ready to fight for justice, freedom, and the future of an entire world. The morning sun bathed Varelia in soft golden light, illuminating the forests and mountains that had once been shadowed by oppression. From high above, in the cruiser horizon, Elias Ward and Lysera watched the land they had helped awaken. Smoke rose from scattered Zitharian outposts, a signal of victory, but also a warning. The Dominion would not remain idle. Lysera's violet eyes scanned the horizon. "The people are waking," she said, her voice both proud and determined. "They have hope now, thanks to you, human." Elias shook his head slightly, a small smile forming. "No, thanks to both of us. You fought beside me, led your people, and showed them courage. I only helped light the way." Her smile mirrored his. "Then together, we can finish what we started." The liberation campaign had begun in earnest. Elias and Lysera coordinated attacks, blending human tactics with Varelian ingenuity. Small teams moved stealthily to disable Zitharian communications, sabotage supply lines, and free imprisoned civilians. Each victory sparked another, and the oppressed people of Varelia began to rise. The Dominion, sensing the threat, sent reinforcements. Zitharian battle cruisers appeared in orbit, and patrols intensified. The human and Varelian teams faced greater risks than ever before. Elias knew they could not rely solely on stealth now. Open confrontation was inevitable. Lysera gathered the freed Varelians and humans in a hidden valley. "This is our moment," she said. "The Dominion thinks fear controls us. They are wrong. We fight not just with weapons, but with courage, unity, and hope. Today, we reclaim our home." Elias stepped forward, adding, "We have planned carefully. We know their strengths and weaknesses. Stick together, watch each other's backs, and trust your instincts. Together, we are unstoppable." The crowd of Varelians erupted in cheers. For the first time in generations, they felt empowered to fight, guided by a combination of human determination and Lysera's leadership. The first major battle was fierce. Zitharian patrols attempted to retake key supply points, but Elias and Lysera anticipated their moves. Using a combination of ambushes, strategic traps, and precision strikes, the human and Varelian forces disrupted the Dominion's operations. Lysera led the charge in one of the most dangerous confrontations. Her agility and knowledge of the terrain allowed her to outmaneuver the Zitharians. She freed imprisoned Varelians in the middle of combat, guiding them to safety while maintaining control of the battlefield. Elias marveled at her skill. "You are incredible," he shouted over the chaos. "You are not so bad yourself, Captain." She replied, laughing briefly before returning to the fight. The battle ended with minimal losses for their side, but it was a clear message. The Dominion could no longer control Varelia with fear alone. The people had seen the courage of humans and their own leaders working together, and it inspired hope that had been absent for decades. In the following days, Elias and Lysera planned a decisive strike, the liberation of Varelia's capital city. It was heavily fortified, but with careful planning and coordinated efforts, they believed success was possible. Lysera worked tirelessly with her people, teaching them tactics and strategies. She trained small units to operate with precision, using both human weapons and improvised tools. Elias led his human team to sabotage enemy communications and disable defensive systems. The night before the assault, they gathered on a hill overlooking the city. Elias looked at Lysera. "Tomorrow, we face the greatest challenge yet. Are you ready?" Lysera's eyes shone with determination. "I have never been more ready. My people are ready, and we fight together, human. Always together." Elias nodded, feeling a deep respect and admiration for her. "Then let's make tomorrow count." The assault began at dawn. Stealth teams infiltrated the city's perimeter, disabling security systems and opening gates for the main forces. Elias and Lysera led the charge, coordinating human and Virilian units in perfect harmony. Zithirian forces resisted fiercely, but the combined strategy of human ingenuity and Virilian knowledge proved overwhelming. Traps were avoided, patrols neutralized, and prisoners liberated. The city erupted with the cheers of a people reclaiming their home. In the heart of the city, Elias and Lysera faced the Zithirian commander. He was imposing, armored, and confident in his superiority. But Elias remained calm, relying on human tactics and resourcefulness. Lysera, beside him, guided their forces with precision. Now, she shouted out with coordinated attacks. They overpowered the commander's forces. The Dominion's grip on Virilia collapsed, and the commander was captured. The city was free. After the battle, the liberated people gathered in the central square. Lysera addressed them, her voice strong and proud. "My people, today we are free, not just from chains, but from fear. The Dominion thought they could control us, but they underestimated our courage, our intelligence, and our spirit. Together, we have reclaimed our home." The crowd erupted in cheers, waving banners and celebrating their newfound freedom. Elias watched, proud of what they had achieved together. Humanity's determination, paired with Lysera's leadership, had turned the impossible into reality. Lysera turned to Elias. "You stayed by my side, human. You risked everything, and you inspired my people to rise. I cannot leave your side now, for what we share is greater than a single victory." Elias smiled. "Then we continue together. Your people, our people, freedom does not end here. This is just the beginning of a new chapter." In the weeks that followed, Virilia began to rebuild. Humans and Virilians worked together to restore cities, farms, and communities. Technology and knowledge were shared, creating a stronger, united civilization. Elias and Lysera coordinated efforts, guiding reconstruction and training new leaders. Lysera's respect for humans deepened. She admired their ingenuity, courage, and moral strength. Elias, in turn, valued her insight, determination, and vision for her people. Their partnership had become a symbol of hope, unity, and courage across the galaxy. Zithirian forces were pushed back, and other oppressed worlds took notice. News of Virilia's liberation spread, inspiring resistance against tyranny. The spark Elias and Lysera had ignited became a wildfire, proving that courage, intelligence, and unity could challenge even the mightiest of empires. One evening, Elias and Lysera stood atop the highest tower in the capital, overlooking the city and the forests beyond. The sun was setting, painting the sky with gold and violet hues. "Look at them," Lysera said softly. "They are free. They have hope. They can build a future." Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "And they will. Humanity survives because we fight for more than ourselves. And you showed them how to fight for what matters. Together, we made a difference." Lysera turned to him, her eyes reflecting the colors of the sunset. "Then we continue together, not just as allies, but as partners. For my people, for humanity, and for the future." Elias nodded. Together, the cruiser Horizon awaited them, ready to explore the stars once more. But this time, they would go as a united force, human and Virilian, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Freedom had been won, but the galaxy was vast, and the possibilities were endless. Elias and Lysera knew that their courage, ingenuity, and determination would inspire countless others. Humanity had proven once again that even against overwhelming odds, the spirit of hope, intelligence, and bravery could prevail. And so, Under the alien stars of Relia, the human and the alien princess stood side by side, ready to face a new future together, a future built on trust, courage, and the unbreakable bonds of freedom.